If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Do you like the service at Mitch and Pauly's?
I don't tip.
You don't tip?
No, I don't believe in it.
Leave us a tip on your way out.
You don't tip.
You don't tip? What do you mean you don't tip?
You don't believe in it.
The guys crack open the jar and see what the listeners have left behind.
So what, no TV now?
It's time for the tip jar at Mitch and Pauly's Pizzeria.
Yeah. It's been too long, baby.
I want a slice, man.
Oh, that's so good. It got AJ in there at the end. That's awesome. Oh, man. We got a lot of them. Thanks, guys.
How often do you crave pizza?
On a regular basis.
Constantly.
Yeah.
5 times a week. I crave it. I don't have it 5 times a week, but I want it like 5 times a week.
Yep.
This is from Russell in North Carolina. And by the way, if you're new to the show, we were asking you this week, you can always send this stuff in. The email is ftm@vsin.com. Also on X at VSiN Live, and Mitch Moss Radio, Pauly Howard. Long shot bets, maybe a little, sprinkle some pizza money on it that you like for the future, stuff that might be live that you made a while back. Russell is betting Georgia Tech to win the ACC in college football. Okay, well, it's the middle of May. Bet him at 14-1. They play Clemson at home in week 3. They are at Wake Forest a couple of weeks after that. They get Vatech at home, at Duke. They play at NC State and at Boston College. What do you think? Give me another month to be really up on college football.
Yeah.
John in Canada, A's to win the West 20-1.
Yeah. Hey, they got the best road record. I was just really excited for this edition because we're going to get to the Dallas Stars, Indiana Pacers, Minnesota Timberwolves tickets.
Okay, well, A's to win the West at 20-1. I think they could be a playoff team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with these Mariners injuries.
You never know, right?
Right.
Seattle.
Rangers can't hit. Maybe they get together at some point.
Well, they won 6 in a row.
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean, the offense hit. Paul, did you see the scores against the Rockies? They weren't exactly beating them like every other team in the league has been. And this is from Seth H on X. Bengals to win the AFC, Rams to win the NFC parlay 125-1. Well, I'm all about the Rams this year, so I think...
I don't like the Hendrickson news.
No, that's not great.
No, I am. I'm big on the Rams, too. Yep.
Yeah, so I think combining the Rams with other teams to win the AFC, that's not a bad approach. So there you go with some pizzeria bets so far. Tip jar always open here. This is from Rob in Vegas. Rory to win the Masters, which is a good one already, plus 715. And Arkansas to win the College World Series at 7-1. $50 pays $3,200. And Florida in the bag already to win the national title in college hoops in Arkansas to win the College World Series 12-1.
All right.
100 pays almost $13,000.
All right. And our trip's booked. Can't wait to go to Omaha. See our guy Kevin. What's the bar again? Why do I blank on it? Rocco's. Thank you. Rocco's right across from the ballpark with the Jell-O shots. Can't wait.
Now look at this. Mitch from Illinois.
Hey, Mitch.
Now we are talking.
Wow.
An exacta. The Wolves to beat the Knicks in the championship in the NBA Finals.
When?
350-1.
Oh.
That looks like April 27th.
That would be hilarious if it happened, considering the trade and everything.
Oh, no kidding.
That would be unbelievable.
Yeah. 350-1. That's 2.5 weeks ago when he bet that.
That shows you why everyone just assumed Boston would take him out no problem.
Sure. Go get him, Tiger, man. That's great vision by you. And this is from Maurice to win the East. The Pacers 28-1. He made that at the beginning of the playoffs, the way it looks, on April 21st. Or, I'm sorry, April 11th. And Pauly Denver to win the title on April 19th at 33-1. The Pacers, I know, were earlier in the season like 75-1, 100-1, 125-1. Brad in Minnesota. $200 on the Wolves to win the title at 55-1, placed on April 13th. He drove down to Diamond Joe in Iowa to make the bet. Again, right as the beginning, the
bad.
playoffs were beginning, 55-1 on that team to win the whole thing.
Celtics to beat the Nuggets, exacta. 17-1. 5,400.
Well, boy, oh boy.
Yep. I know a lot of people with the Celtics futures. Tough one now.
Well, if he can get a win tonight, he is absolutely live. He has a pulse, I should say, with that. Now, there's a lot going on here. Jason from Virginia. He basically is tied in a lot on the. There's one ticket on the Pacers, 120-1 to win the title. That's June 4th from last year. He bet him. He's got the Pacers to win the East and the Wolves to win the West on a 2-team parlay. $50 pays almost $10,000. Eagles to win the title, which they did. Pacers to win the championship at 344-1. Well, he was all in on the Pacers. And the Thunder to beat the Pacers at 120-1. And he has the Wolves to beat the Pacers at 220-1.
Incredible.
Getting creative and sprinkling the market there with just tying in a bunch of different bets because he was so high on one team. What are you looking at here, Pauly?
I don't know. 35-1? When was the date? T-Wolves win the West 35-1. No
dates on that one.
Andrew has Knicks Thunder, exacta. He has Toronto Dallas, exacta in hockey, and Toronto Dallas at 50-1 and 60-1. And he's got Knicks Thunder 18-1, 1750.
Oh boy, was he looking good with that Maple Leaf Stars bet early on in that Toronto series.
He also bet after the second period of Game 7 when the Avs led the Stars 1-0 going into the third period. He bet Dallas to win the Cup at 33-1, and he has a Edmonton over Toronto exacta, which looked great a couple days ago, 12-1. There's a Carolina over Edmonton, 30-1, from a viewer who sent it in on X. Someone grabbed the Nuggets at 30-1. And just before the show started, did you the guy? Yeah, I think the one the guy sent this in, it was the same guy. But Pacers, T-Wolves, Vikings, Ravens.
I saw this, by the way.
That one's $320,000.
Oh my God!
Oh man! Well, you could get two of them home in that cash out.
Yeah, right.
It'd be juicy.
Guy was listening to the show back in late January, and we asked Jeff Davis from here at Circa about an NHL exacta.
Yes.
And at the time, he said Carolina and Edmonton. Put $600 on it, pays like $10,000. More than $10,000, I believe. Looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Here you go. Strolling inside Mitch and Pauly's Pizzeria. Are you open? Yeah, I know you have the Pacers 19-1 to win the East. Are you open to anything else?
I got the T-Wolves 35-1.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got them at 40.
Yeah.
I'm on Homa, by the way. I brought this up on the air. Matt Humans was on the show.
He found his game
on Wednesday. Who knows how this is going to play out over the next 2 days, but it was the final day of the Masters. And Max Homa had a good weekend, and then people are like, hey, look ahead to the PGA Championship. He's got a good history there. I bet him at 66-1. Well, the guy has not exactly been playing the best golf of his life since the Masters, and nobody was on him. And here, I told Humans, like, Circa bumped him up to more than 200-1. And Matt's like, well, you got to add more.
Wow.
So I did.
5-1 just to finish top 20 here.
I grabbed him at plus 470 top 20.
He's tied for fourth.
He put together, what was he, 7 under today? And he could have had a better round than that?
Yeah, 7 under.
So now he's 3 strokes back. That would be a good one to cash. And then that goes to the same thing with Skinner to win the Conn Smythe at 300-1 earlier in the week. I mean, it was really an ugly beginning to the playoffs for him. He allowed...
That's a tough call because he started 0-2 and then they won 6 in a row without him. Then he comes back and he goes shutout.
Right.
They would have to win a lot of low-scoring games the rest of the way.
That's the thing. Like, let's say the Stars finish off the Jets tonight, right? And
the more I think about it, it's not...
He doesn't have a real chance.
More. It's interesting because he missed the first 6 wins.
Right.
But...
Right. So I think what has to happen is they win the Cup and every game is basically... Or maybe he pitches like 4 more shutouts. And it's not like McDavid and Draisaitl are scoring a zillion goals.
Yeah. If Hellebuck can shut him down, he can.
Yeah.
Hellebuck's done it twice.
Sure. So, I mean, like, if that continues and,
Mm-hmm.
and even if he loses some of these games and it's 1-0 or 2-1 and he's standing on his head the whole time, maybe that'll make some sense. I just thought 300-1 with back-to-back shutouts was something I had to play.
Yep. So there were long odds on Indiana not that long ago, 125-1. Minnesota in the big, like you talked about, win it all, and then in the West, and certainly the Dallas number. I didn't see any Edmonton tickets though when they were down 0-2 against LA.
Yeah, I don't know what that number was.
I was surprised. Yeah, that's a good question. And and if you want to get nuts, at DraftKings they have the best number that I've seen. The Celtics are 16-1 to win the title. Before the line moves, the sharp plays at sharpplays.com already there. Don't chase the market. They move it. You're not going to out-muscle billion-dollar sports books or full-time pro bettors on your own. But with the sharp plays, you don't have to. Powered by cutting-edge AI and trusted insider sources, the Sharp Plays delivers the edge that serious bettors rely on. Free reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insight, all delivered right to you via email or X. This isn't some overnight startup. They've been doing this and documented track record since 2011. Receipts, logs, and results right there on the site. We had him on last week. He's been with us since day one. Respected, watched, feared, the Sharp Plays. Check him out now, sharpplays.com.
So on the scoreboard that I'm looking at right now, the leaderboard, I should say, at the PGA Championship, Scotty Scheffler is now 5 under, and he is through 15. So 3 under on the day, and that means that he is 3 strokes back.
And they moved the cut line. So now 2 over. Projected cut is 1 over. So that moves some people up now, too. And Schauffele just had a birdie. So he would survive now as he goes to 16. Well, he was 4-1 to miss.
Does that mean that Rory's going to make the cut?
Good? Yes.
Now Rory's back to 1 under, by the way.
Yep. Rory is going on 15. Is he going on 15?
Crazy round.
6 through 15. 3 holes left. Yeah.
All right. Great card tonight. With the playoffs, Major League Baseball. We'll get into props, bets that we like coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Big night tonight. Playoffs and Major League Baseball. Here at Circa, the total in the Knicks-Celtics game is now 212. Most spots have 211.5. And I will say that the Hard Rock in Florida has 3 on the Knicks. And every other book that I'm looking at right now on the screen has 2.5. So they're the first book to move it to 3. Opened up 1.
Yep. Bad job by hockey not to start the game an hour earlier. Should have done that. In any event, I want Boston to have the lead at halftime for some serious juice here, as the natives will be restless if the Knicks are getting off to a slow start. And can Boston pull this off and send it back for a Game 7 without their leader and star?
Now, let's say it's both teams are playing well offensively, right? And
just like the last game.
Sure. And it's 60-53 at halftime, and the Celtics are knocking down a ton of threes. At that point, would you want to come back and fire on the Knicks to win the game?
It depends what they look like offensively and what the others are doing.
Well, I'm saying if the offenses both look good, but the Celtics are shining, and I would say that maybe then, because I don't think like that three-point shooting is going to continue in this game as a team for the Celtics. What were they, 22 of 48 the other night? I don't know if they're going to duplicate that again.
I have a lot of confidence in White and Pritchard, though, and that's all you need. I don't want Brown shooting from 3.
Oh, neither do I.
Okay. Horford knocked a couple down, so did Holiday. I don't expect that. But, first things first. Does Porzingis even play? What does he give you? And does the Cornet spectacle happen again? I lean no on Cornet. I lean no on
Porzingis,
Holiday, and also Horford as well. And I would think Brunson has a big game and OG bounces back. Over 1.5 made threes is $1.80, but I think the juice is worth the squeeze because he was so bad shooting the ball in the last game. But as I've said time and time again here, they already had this chance and they blew it against Detroit. and I thought they were outplayed for much of that series. Brunson was a beast. Cat played well, but those were all close games. And to win on the road like that, and that Hardaway call goes against them, maybe they lose the series. Speaking of in Detroit, but how it would have gone against the Knicks. But this is juicy here, but it's hard to handicap based on they are 10-2 without the guy, and they scored 127 points in the last game. Now you have more to go on now with your Tibbs to scheme it up and how to defend them, but I still expect Pritchard to have a good game. I'm getting carried away though now, 15.5 with the points, and why White won't go for 34. I think White can go over his point prop though, and be a big difference and go for maybe 24, 27, because he's going to shoot a ton of threes, and that's one guy I want shooting threes.
I want to try to change your mind on Drew Holiday tonight.
Being positive?
Yeah. You like betting on streaks?
Yeah.
Right? 15 out of the last 16 games without Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday has gone over 1.5 made threes.
Okay.
He's 1.5 tonight. Pick him.
Sounds good.
Good enough for you?
All right. Someone's got to take all of them.
Well, they're going to take
Tatum out.
They will take 45, 50 threes, and Pritchard will probably take 10 to 12 of them. White will probably take 10 of them at least.
And if he makes one early, then it's going to be. What do you expect out of Hart's been good, but in terms of offensively, Hart, Bridges.
I think Bridges can have a good game.
And the big thing with Cat is, can you stay out of foul trouble too?
That's
his rebounds have come down too. Cat's 11.5 tonight with the rebounds.
Dicey proposition with him.
Mm-hmm.
If he would. I'd bet his rebounds over every game, 10.5 or 11.5, if you told me he's going to stay out of foul trouble, but that's the biggest deal that you're battling against there. I do. Bridges play. Don't forget about Bridges like early in the series, too. Or OG. They had good games.
Yep.
Really good games.
Well, it's been a funny season. I thought this, on paper, this could be a hell of a team when they had so much offensive firepower after they added Bridges and what they had offensively. And then I think they were a disappointment in the regular season. Well, actually big time, because they went 0-10 against Cleveland, Boston, and OKC, and they got run out almost in all the games. Average margin was 16 points per game. And then here it just fell right, where Boston chokes the first two games, and then you lose Tatum. But it'd be something if they lose this tonight, and it goes back to Boston, and then it's blowing the 3-1 lead, and in 2000, a 25-year drought. All of it.
Would you co-sign what Doug Kazarian said last hour? Sprinkle a little bit on Pritchard to be the highest scoring or most points scored in the game tonight?
Oh, that's aggressive.
Big number.
He was great in Game 3, but that's why not? Fine, that's worth some pizza money, I guess.
I don't know.
Well, what if it's a blowout?
Which way?
Knicks. He's still in there. But Tibbs is a lunatic. He doesn't sit people.
No, he doesn't.
So I guess that's
they,
out the
They could be
window.
up by 25 the whole game, and those guys will play 40 minutes.
I think Brunson will bounce back.
Yeah, he's 30.5 now at most. Well, 29.5 is still out there as well.
Uh-huh.
I'm very curious about the pace, because I do think there is something here where the Celtics are going to be able to play at a much freer pace, I guess, if you will, or a free-flowing pace. Faster, more flow to the game, better passing. It's not going to be, you're not going to get anchored down by Jason Tatum taking the ball and then dribbling it 27 times and then deciding that he's going to take a shot, a really bad shot, by the way, like with 4 seconds on the shot clock. I think they can play, but will the Knicks get caught up in that? I think the Knicks want to probably go and try to win a grinder here tonight, and that if they could tell you the score right now is going to be 100-92, they would take that over a game that's going to be played in the 110s, because that probably means the Celtics are hitting a lot of threes.
Yeah.
And their chances of winning that game will then go down, obviously.
Yeah.
So the lower scoring this game is going to be, I like the Knicks' chances better. Higher scoring tells me the Celtics are probably having a good night.
Okay. How about strange Sunday afternoon, 12:30, Game 7?
I like it more than playing it Saturday night, to be honest.
Yeah.
And this way, it also means that Gordon can be closer to, whatever 100% might be after that. The hamstring came so late in the game last night.
Yep.
So there's not another flight and a quick turnaround by playing on Saturday.
I've been so disappointed with this team. And now I talked to Jeff Sherman today at the Westgate, and he said he's got to lower it to $250, $260 series price if it's OKC against Minnesota. And Minnesota would be favored against Denver, even without home court. So I just 1-7 ATS last 8 in the playoffs now. And Denver's been they're used to this. Game 7-game series, take out the Clippers. They did this in 2020. They did this in 2019. And it's just, who's going to be the Robin for OKC? Who's going to help out SGA? And it hasn't been Williams. And then I'm with Doug about Holmgren as well, who's been a big disappointment. That should have been at least, I agree with Perkins, they should have been up double digits at halftime. And that big run right before halftime was a killer.
Right. Well, I think it's going to have to come from the bench, because when it comes to like scoring enough points to help out SGA,
yeah.
And if you're talking about, just winning this game, winning the series and advancing, you can't rely on Williams right now. There's no way, no how you can. He's been, I think, for the most part, pretty awful in this series. You're not going to rely on Holmgren. I mean, again, I can't believe that they were designing open threes for him last night out of the timeout. I was just scratching my head like, oh my God, of all guys, really at this point? Seriously, guys? You're going to have to get it from Case and Wallace, I think. And Caruso is going to have to, I think, be big. And you might have to have like Isaiah Joe knock down a couple of shots, because we're staring at this team that should be, like, if not the deepest team in the league, one of, certainly. But when the starters are not going to give you reliable points game in and game out when it matters most, then that's crippling to your overall depth. And you're going to, because Lou Dort should be more of a defensive guy, and you don't want him to take like 7 threes in a game. So based on that, it's going to have to come from the guys. I think, are you going to rely on Wiggins in a big game? I like Wiggins in the regular season when they're playing a bad team and they're favored by 14 and they're playing nobody. He'll go out and score 30 points, no problem.
Yeah.
But in a game 7 off the bench against the Nuggets, when he has to have it, I don't know if Wiggins can deliver or not. But we also saw, like, with the Nuggets playing basically, they've had to play more guys last night. You're not going to get that from Strother again, I can't imagine.
Yeah, right.
And Westbrook was...
I mean, come on, Porter's got one arm. I mean, Westbrook's giving you nothing. Gordon's hurt. Murray has the flu. Come on.
Russ was a disaster last night as soon as he came in the game.
Oh.
And they actually brought it up on the broadcast because Adelman brought him out. He took him out immediately. And Wes is like, me? You're going to take me out? Yeah, man. You're turning the ball over every single possibility when you touch the ball. You can't have that. You got to give the team a spark. I bet him over 9.5 points. And he was no good last night. And I want to make a case for Russ. But now that's 4 games in a row where he's given him basically nothing. So it's a tricky game.
They got to prove it to me. Speaking of OKC, can you win? And can you win by margin? Can you win impressively? And we know game 2 was a fluke now.
Well, winning by margin is
yeah. And I
can't bet on them.
Because the first couple of home games, they were double digits. And again, you blew it game 1. You just can't. You'd love to have that one back. I know there's been a lot of coin flip games, but to be up 9 with 2:40, ridiculous. You lose that game. NBA playoffs heating up. Our partner ProfitX offering the best odds all playoff long. ProfitX peer-to-peer sports exchange available in 40-plus states. You'll be able to make your sports picks against other groups of fans rather than against other sports books. Exchanges guarantee you the best odds on average by 10 to 20%. Download ProfitX today, code VSiN. Earn up to $200 in profit cash over your first month. Go get it now.
Wes Reynolds on the program coming up next, our golf betting aficionado here at VSiN. Who should we all be looking at to add tonight and over the weekend before round 3 of the PGA Championship?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Round number 2 of the PGA Championship is winding down. A handful of golfers still on the course, including Scottie Scheffler, who's making a nice run today to get back into the mix. He is at 5 under for the tournament. A couple of holes to play yet for him. 3 strokes back, and he's like plus 250 to win the tournament now. I love Scottie Scheffler. I hope he doesn't win. I don't have anything on him. And now we bring in our PGA Tour and golf betting aficionado here at VSiN, Wes Reynolds. He's on the Progressive guest line. Wes, thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm well, guys. Thanks for having me.
So your impression so far of how this tournament has played out, total carnage basically all day again today in terms of big names, right? And a lot of those were on the precipice earlier, as Pauly documented in the show, of maybe either missing the cut or potentially missing the cut.
Yeah, it looks a little bit more like a balanced leaderboard today, but we were commenting over the break before we came on for the segment. that looked like my card for the John Deere Classic when I looked at the first page of the leaderboard yesterday, whereas Johnny Vegas and Alex Smalley and Michael Chorbornson and some of these guys, Aaron Rye, it looked like a John Deere Classic or like a Puerto Rico Open card. But now it's looking a little bit more like a major. You have Scotty making a run. Siwoo Kim has now made a run. He's got the low round, I think, of the day at 7 under with 2 holes left to play, matching Max Homa, who has kind of been nowhere and then showed a little bit at the Masters. And it's like, well, maybe that was a mirage. And then he shoots 7 under today to get T5 at 5 under par. But you're starting to see, I still think there's a few names that are kind of on the precipice. Bryson DeChambeau is at 3 under. I don't think that he's all that far back. He'll be maximum 5 back at the start of the day. But a lot of no names kind of, or maybe lesser no names on the board, and some real disappointments that are not going to make the weekend.
How about some FOMO or regrets you have?
Probably regret I have is using Patrick Cantlay as one of my outrights, because I thought maybe he had turned the corner. He started to putt better last week. Tee to green, he was the best in the field in last week's event in Philadelphia, and 6 over par, just played awful. And just not showing in majors. You're wondering when it's going to happen with this guy. This winless drought is approaching now 3 years. Colin Morikawa, who I didn't bet, he is on a winless drought as well. So sometimes you try to catch a falling knife too many times and it eventually stabs you. But I guess a regret of a guy that I did not play that I certainly looked at a little bit this week was probably, looking at Siwoo Kim. I think is another one, because he kind of tends to play well on like these Carolina courses, even though this is a lot longer than what you see at the Wyndham or what you saw at Pinehurst certainly last year for the U.S. Open. So he was a little bit of a regret. Last night it was going to be Terrell Hatton, but he shoots 2 over today. He is going to make the weekend, but just a lot of random names. So I think that this leaderboard is going to get topsy-turvy, and we're going to see how the weather is going to be. They are expecting some rain tomorrow, so that could turn it around a little bit. But this is played at a pretty difficult course. I think it's played fair for a PGA Championship. It hadn't played like a U.S. Open. It never does. But you're not going to see, I think, like 16, 17 under par, or what you saw last year at Valhalla, where it was 20 under par, be in contention for this thing.
Let me throw 2 guys at you right now. It looks like Rory's going to make the cut. I have him right now at 1 under, and he is on 17, so 4 under for the day. He's 20-1, and Rahm just missed a birdie putt on 18 by a couple of, probably about a foot. He's going to close up shop today, 2 under for the tournament, 6 strokes back. Jon Rahm is 30-1. Would you have any interest in adding either one of those guys right now?
Maybe Rahm of the 2 rather than Rory, because I wasn't that high on Rory coming in here, even though Rory, we know, has won 4 times here at Quail Hollow, what used to be known as the Wells Fargo Championship. But he had played a full schedule, and he's been doing all that media because he finally won the career Grand Slam. So I thought maybe he was just going to experience a little burnout. And sometimes you do get that on a big stage at a major championship. Jon Rahm, he was an interesting guy that I looked at before the week, because there's nothing really wrong with this form. He's never finished outside the top 10 in a live event, even though there's only 54 players. That's still a top 10 every single event. So it's not like he's fell off the face of the earth. But when you thought he was going to join that tour, it's like he's going to win 6 or 7 events every year. He's by far the best player in this league, in this live golf league. And he really hasn't. He hasn't had a lot of win equity lately. So he's kind of been quiet and a little bit under the radar. So of those 2, it would be Rahm for me.
All right. Anybody else that we failed to mention so far that you've circled and you might be considering to add, or the audience should be considering to add, in your opinion?
Just looking, a little bit down the board, I can't really go all that far because I think so many are so far back. Now, the PGA, by the way, is probably the major of the 4 where you're going to get the most likely of comebacks. You don't see big comebacks 5-6 back at the U.S. Open. You don't see it necessarily at the Open Championship, depending on the weather and if there's a draw bias, and you really don't see it at the Masters. So looking down the board a little bit, I can't really go that further than what you mentioned, Mitch, with Jon Rahm at like 25 or 30-1, because you want to make a case for like a Victor Hovland. I know we were talking about him over the break, but he's so up and down. he gets on a run and he kind of gives you a little taste like, oh man, here he comes. And then he makes 2 or 3 straight bogeys and then he's off the grid once again. So nobody really that far back that I think I want to pursue at least until Sunday.
All right, Mr. Indiana, how about some hoops? Are we getting carried away with the Fever hype train?
Maybe, but I'm all aboard. I'm excited for the Fever this year. I think that this is going to be a different team. You not only have your quarterback with Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, but the addition of DeWanna Bonner, the addition of Tosh Howard. These are 2 players that are veteran players that have won championships. You have Lexi Hull off the bench. Sophie Cunningham, by the way, for maybe 6th Woman of the Year. If you're playing these WNBA awards, I would look for Sophie Cunningham. I think she's kind of been what the Fever have been missing. She was part of that trade that sent Alyssa Thomas, that 3-way trade with Dallas and Phoenix. Alyssa Thomas went to Phoenix. Dejanay Carrington went to Dallas. And when the Fever got back, all they got back was Sophie Cunningham. It's like, oh, this is a bad trade. No, it wasn't. It was actually who they needed. They needed another 3-point shooter. They needed somebody who is an irritant, too, and who is very much a nuisance. And they call her Spicy Sophie for a reason. So I think she's going to be a big add to this team. Stephanie White is a clear upgrade at coach. But do I think the Fever should be, a co-favorite yet to win the WNBA title? No, but I think that they're legit top 4 because the 4 for me are the Liberty, the Las Vegas Aces, Minnesota Lynx, and then probably the Fever in that 4 spot. But I do think that this team is going to be very good, and I think that they should be considered at least a title contender, even though I don't think that they're the favorite.
Did you make any bets for tonight or tomorrow in the WNBA?
Rakia Jackson over 14.5 points for the Los Angeles Sparks, who new team for them too, because Kelsey Plum now is traded to the LA Sparks. And I think that that's good for both parties. I think that's good for her. She's going to be able to be a little bit more of the focal point. Rakia Jackson was the other rookie drafted by the Sparks last year. Of course, Cameron Brink, who got hurt early with her knee, missed basically the entire season. New coach there, Lynn Roberts, taking the place of Kurt Miller, who's now the GM in Dallas. They're playing the Golden State Valkyries, the expansion team tonight. Valkyries have actually taken a little bit of money, now down to about 5.5 in the market. But Rakia Jackson, I think the consistency, I think she scored 13 and on an average in 2 preseason games, but only played 20 minutes. So she would be somebody that I think is going to be a big time focal point. She's got Kelsey Plum to get her the ball. So I think the Sparks team is going to be a little bit better this year. I think they're at least a playoff team, not a contender, but definitely a playoff team. And now that they got a guard threat, I think she's going to be able to score pretty effectively tonight.
90 seconds. I think the Pacers win it all. What do you think?
I'm with you, Pauly. I think that this is absolutely wide open. Like, nobody really scares you right now. I know the Thunder won 68 games, and analytically, you love this team, but you watch this team, it's like, how are they going to win a championship?
Yep.
They have not played good defense. They have not gotten anybody to help Shea from a consistency in terms of a scoring basis. Like Jalen Williams had that one good game early in the series, but well down from his average. I think Minnesota, they can show a little bit of immaturity. They can be a little bit mercurial. And I think the Pacers are absolutely in position to win it all. People kind of forgot about this team because they started so poorly and Tyrese was hurt. But they've been the 4th best record in the NBA since January 1st. And I think the Pacers got a belief, man. They're not upset that they're kind of overlooked as a small market team that used to get to them. And they used to be openly and talk about it kind of in the mid 2010s, the PG team with Roy Hibbert and David West. Now they're like, okay, we're just going to use it as a chip on our shoulder and we're just going to go play.
Great stuff, Wes.
Yeah.
Love it when you pop on the program. You can follow him on X. He's at Wes Reynolds 1. Thanks for the time, and best of luck with the bets tonight and at the PGA Championship as well.
You bet, guys. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Take care. He was on the Progressive guest line.
We got a couple rain delays here.
Baseball.
Pittsburgh, Philly, Washington, Baltimore. 5-3 Reds, top of the 6th. Cubbies pounded the White Sox 13-3.
I think the Pacers win the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They play so fast. You're gonna get in their game, and they have too many guys that can score, and they wear you out. Look how they just toyed with Cleveland. They were down 20 in 2 of the games they won.
I hope
they don't panic. They're fine.
Thunder, Pacers, every game I'm betting over. If we get that. In Pocket plays our best bets next year on VSiN.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, You know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
He knows the quarterback was on coke if his girlfriend was knocked out.
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your unborn children's children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
You know it, Ace. Should have swept the board. 4-1 last night. Sick beat in the first period under with Carolina. 7 shots on goal in the first period. Each goalie allowed a soft one. Thompson again. Oh, terrible some of the goals he allowed. Denver plus the points winner. Joker under assists winner. First period under loser. Anderson. This went 5-0 in the series. Anderson saves under prop, cashed in every game. And Hurricanes to win. Pacers to win the East 19-1. That's the old Kuminga that won. That was last game against Golden State and Minnesota. Stars, it all comes down to tomorrow. -1.5 games. -110 against the Jets. Exact the Hurricanes over the Stars. Detroit Lions under 10.5 wins. Panthers to win in regulation tonight, 3 units. -150 is the price. Highest you're seen on Florida? You know, I did see a 240, 245
earlier, but money was coming in on Toronto.
Yeah, down to 225 at DraftKings now. Denver, I took +8 Sunday in Game 7. From 10.5 now down to 7. From Game 1, Game 2 now to Game 7. Even the odds makers know you can't have a lot of confidence in OKC. So I think it's going to be a close game as well on Sunday afternoon. There we go.
Seeing about 225 is the high water mark right now on the screen for the Panthers. As low as 208.
You also can lay 2.5 over -190 for the Dallas team total tomorrow. Here it is. To me, you have to bet Dallas if you're not involved, and you got to say, you got to beat me, Hellebuck. He's lost 9 in a row on the road in the playoffs. It's a completely different team. He's a completely different goalie, home and road. And Dallas in a closeout spot at home. I think it's even money in regulation.
What can you take on Dallas over 3 goals?
3 or 3.5?
No. 3. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Walk away with a push, be okay with it, but you're probably laying about $1.30. What's a goal worth? Maybe a little bit more than that, actually. And you're on. Okay. All right. Moving forward here.
3.5 is +125.
All right. Astros Rangers first 5 under last night.
Oh, there you go.
Was a winner that was scoreless. What a pitching matchup. That's my kind of baseball game. I love that more than anything, specifically come playoff time. Give me 1-0. Give me like a shutout going to the 10th. That's brilliant. You can't get enough of that. Most wins in May. Big one tonight because Flaherty's been terrible, but the Tigers lingering now 16-1. And Juan Soto pending 20-1 to win the MVP. That's 2 guys now I have. The other one is Pete Crow Armstrong, 120-1 and 70-1, who had a monster game today. I'm on the Twins tonight, -116. Ryan's been good last couple starts. Twins are blazing hot with this winning streak, playing great ball. Brewers, the exact opposite. I think that's a cheap number on the Twins, so bet that one. Mackenzie Gore, over 6.5 Ks, -114. I laddered him to get 8 Ks +170 for a smaller bet. 9 Ks for a smaller bet as well, at +319. Orioles have horrendous numbers against lefties. That game's in the middle of a rain delay. And I'll tell you about the home run tracker right now because I added another one during the break. I'm on 3 guys for tonight. Half a unit on Judge +215 here at Circa. Half a unit on Carpenter for the Tigers. Francis has allowed 12 home runs so far on the year. He's at 3-1. And I put 2 units on Corbin Carroll at +340.
All right.
I think it is a prime position tonight for the young fella who's been on an absolute tear to begin the year to go deep again.
Let me get this real quickly. I'll look for it in a second. I want to see where we're at for Arizona. How high that price is tonight. Smarter bets start here.
Money on the Rockies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last all year long with VSiN Pro. Sign up. The annual subscription, get 14 months, just $199 when you use promo code PRO. 2 extra months free, less than 50 cents a day. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber. Get all the golf bets from Wes, the horse racing plays from Samich, the betting splits, the trends from Mackinnon, the dog videos, the prop analyzer, Burke every day on MLB, vsin.com/subscribe, code PRO. Go get it.
So I'm looking at McIlroy right now. They took the screen off the PGA off the screens here at the book. They're finishing up the round at the PGA Championship. He bogeyed number 17. So that dropped Rory McIlroy to even for the tournament. And you're seeing +1, though, for the cut line? Is that correct?
Yes.
Because so then he would have to basically...
Well, +2, he's gone. +1, he's safe.
Okay, so he has a double bogey 18 to miss the cut.
Yeah, they moved it. He caught a break there.
And guess what? He missed a putt like this far.
So as of now, Spieth, Straka, Lowry, JT, Matsuyama, Aubert, Fowler, Reed, Day, Cantlay, Zalatoris, all gone.
Oh.
And we know DJ was a debacle. Phil and Koepka were terrible. DJ was 12 over, 143rd. I like what Wes said. It's like looking at the John Deere Classic. I mean, this leaderboard's nuts. Once you get past and look, okay, you got Scheffler now, who's in 5th. But once you go by, other than DeChambeau, who's tied for 16th, you have to go down to like 27th before you say, okay, there's a big-time golfer or a guy I'm rooting for, which would go Fleetwood, Rahm, Scott, Hovland, all in order, all 2 under, all tied for 27th.
So you got to find the guy that's going to put together like a 65 and hope to God that he's the outlier for the tournament and the course continues to play really, really rough for the guys at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that guy would be Jon Rahm. He's certainly capable of going out there tomorrow and putting together a 65 or a 66. And if that's the case, he's 30-1 right now. He's 6 back, but he can close the gap. I mean, he certainly can. The McIlroy now is...
Well, the question is, if everyone comes back, like, what does everyone come down and can 6 under win it, or does someone just play out of their minds and you get to 11? Does Vegas get to 11, 12 under, something like that?
Well, what does Scheffler finish?
Yeah,
I mean, because he's such a machine that he can go out there and again, he's 5 under right now, playing hole number 18. He can't have similar rounds Saturday and Sunday and finish like at 10 at least. Of course he can. He's the best player in the world. So I would anticipate you're going to have to outscore that guy more than anything else. So, I mean, I would come up with a number tonight and say Scheffler's going to get to 10, 11, 12, and I need to somehow come up with a better number than that. And how many golfers in the world on this board right now are going to be capable of getting to that kind of a number? Because that has to be the expectation for that guy. DeChambeau can do that too. And DeChambeau's at 3 under. He is 5 strokes back. He finished 3 under today. He can go out there tomorrow and bomb this course and finish with a 64 or 65 and be right in this thing. But he's also 10-1 right now, I think.
Yeah. It was fun talking to Doug Kazarian, and the WNBA starts tonight. His favorite play is at DraftKings, Caitlin Clark over 15.5, 14.5 double-doubles, minus 140. Says it should be $5.
Yeah.
In any event, he had something interesting off air about Purdy, and it's absolute lunacy. The breaking news earlier today: San Francisco gave Purdy 5 for 265, 180 guaranteed, with a coach who has proven no matter who you put in there, I'll move the ball and put up numbers. Other than Trey Lance, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But you almost won a Super Bowl with Garoppolo.
C.J. Beathard put up good numbers with Shanahan.
Yeah, Mullins, I know. It's going to be that's a hot topic. And he's a polarizing player. But good for him, Mr. Irrelevant. And now no more roommates. $265 million, 180 guaranteed.
Yeah. The offense will be, I mean, they're going to, as long as they can stay healthy this year and avoid that injury bug,
He had some tough moments, though, last year, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Some bad interceptions. That Monday night game against Detroit, he was bad.
Sure. Got a lot to work with, though, still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know they lost Debo. Ricky Pearsall is going to step up. He'll be really good for him. Ayuk, when he comes back for the injury, will mean a lot to that offense. McCaffrey comes back from the injury. Kittle's awesome still. Elite tight end. So Purdy's going to put up awesome numbers this year, and he's like 30-1 to win the MVP. And the expectations there are for that team to win 10.5 games. That's the number on the board. It's easiest schedule in football.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Name the score tonight. Knicks Celtics.
Oh, God. 117-109 New York.
That high scoring, huh?
But it's tight late.
And they pull away?
And I'm going to say 5-2 Florida. You?
I'll say 2-1 Toronto after the first.
Okay.
Florida comes back to beat them.
All right.
And the Maple Leafs cash a nice ticket there in the first. Right.
If the Knicks win, people in the media, calm down, behave. Yes. I'll say that too. Oh, it'll be rocking there if they win outside the Garden.
All right, stay tuned. Primetime next for 4 hours. Good luck tonight and this weekend. We'll see you.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.